Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. Get some weed in now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast.
Trust me, I know.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in.
Oh shit, that was recording. Joseph.
No, not quite. It barely missed your comment. That would have been a Patreon exclusive comment for sure. Welcome in to the Penny Bloom Podcast. It is I, Colton Robertson, and yes, it's been 2 weeks since the movie released, but fuck it, you know? We're going to talk Thor Love and Thunder, baby. Just because the news cycle accelerates at a rate we can't keep up with doesn't mean we're not going to do what we want. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
What up? Sorry to be the reason for the delay. Your boy got COVID and couldn't go out in public and see the movie.
Hey, I respect that you didn't.
Thank you.
I'd have probably some sort of personal beef if you had. So
I was thinking about renting out an entire theater,
just to pull the trig.
You know, maybe just not worth the monetary value at the time, but
I get you.
Definitely glad that I have seen it now, though.
You should have just done some illegal shit, like.
We don't do that here at the Penny Bloom Podcast. We are unfamiliar with any and all things outside of the law. And if you heard that voice there, that new voice, we are joined today by our sit-in guest / host sort of person, Trenton Moore. What's up, homie?
Hello. Hi.
Hi, happy to have you here.
Wait, do they see the video?
They do not. They do not see the video.
Oh, so it's only okay.
It's only us. It's for us to hang out and discuss. Just we can take in each other's cadence.
Much more sense.
A little bit more easy. You know, we can tell when someone wants to talk instead of just being like, oh, now someone else is talking. You know what I'm saying? It's works a little better with the video. But yeah, Trenton Moore joining us for the first time on the Penny Bloom Podcast officially as getting an introduction and everything. You might have heard him chime in at the end of one of our episodes quite randomly. But yeah, that was a while back. But now,
did you put that in the show?
Oh yeah, that was in the show. But
was that when we were at Mizzou and I went and stole Miles' microphone?
Yeah, that was the time.
So, yeah.
That was that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joseph got really mad at me.
I didn't get mad.
No, we were fucking livid. But
I was more than mad.
I'd say Trenton, the most mentioned person to have not been on the podcast.
This is true.
Almost certainly. We tell many a story about at least involving Trenton in some capacity on the podcast every once in a while, just because we're all so closely tied to the man, the myth, the legend, Trenton Moore. But we're talking Thor Love and Thunder, baby. Thunder. Feel the thunder. I fucked up the word, but I had to steer into it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, been about 2 weeks since I've seen it. I saw it tomorrow, or like as of release day, 2 weeks ago to the day, July 7th. I saw it on preview night, and I went into it with sort of a mixed expectation, where I was anticipating loving it. I was like, there are seemingly no signs pointing me in a direction that would indicate to me I will not like this movie. That did not keep me, however, from thinking it would be bad. I was going into it expecting a not great movie. I was expecting a Batman and Robin-esque superhero movie.
Eesh.
Which
I haven't
here's
seen
the
that.
thing. And I'll explain it to you here. All camp, no quality. It is super fun as a comic book movie, but it is not good. Like there's very, very little quality there. And that was kind of what I was anticipating, just because the general pumping out of this film in sequence with a lot of other shit, it could very easily get bogged down in our VFX teams at Marvel getting all rushed to do their work and stuff, and that's brutal out there. It didn't seem like Taika Waititi is taking it the most serious, and I have no beef with that because, it's a comic book movie. Have your fucking fun. Do your thing. But I was like, you know what? I fully anticipate that this could be an movie, and I will say it stepped above my expectations in both regards. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to, and it was a better movie than I was anticipating going in.
You thought it could have been a meh?
No, not literally. Not literally on our tier list. I need to stop utilizing that term so liberally. It's
okay.
That's a harsh review on our tier list. That's
you did say and our tier is meh. So you were safe. But
the same connotation, they feel the same. I got to be more careful. Now, I'm excited to place it on the tier list because I can't guarantee you a place of where it will go. It could.
Trent, we got to take a pause. Yeah, you're typing, dude. We can hear it so clearly.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But I'm excited to see where it'll go on the tier list. That was so fucking funny. Because I do have really mixed feelings all in all about the film. It being one of those movies that was a forced 2-hour runtime. Like Marvel was like, this isn't going a minute over 2 hours. And I felt that pace, I felt them kind of pushing it along.
It could have, though. It could have used it.
It should have. Like that's the thing. And so give me your overall thoughts. I've been talking my ass off over here, Joe.
I mean, it was very fun, as Thor movies have been as of the late, with Ragnarok and the Thor character in the other movies. He's more of the fun guy now, and that the movie was definitely fun, and it was definitely just a refreshing Marvel movie. Like, it wasn't something that drastically changed the MCU in any way. The story was pretty contained, although there could be some things that could become pretty big.
Certainly.
We can theorize about those, but overall, I think the story that we got was pretty contained to Thor, Jane, and Gore, pretty much. It was Valkyrie, and I don't know. It was actually kind of complex.
Is Gore the Rock, dude?
Gore is
Gore was the
Christian
villain.
Bale.
He was the villain.
Christian Bale, the
Korg.
God Butcher.
Korg is the Rock guy. Yep, and then I met this dude named Dwayne. We were going to make babies over the lava rock.
5 years? Was it 5 or 10 years? Or what?
Shit.
How long? That's a long time.
2 weeks ago for me now, and haven't seen it since. So I
think 5 years feels right.
Okay,
feels
yeah,
right.
that sounds right to me too. But yeah, like you were saying, all the best elements of this movie, Thor, Jane, and Gore, they were the best elements of this movie. But I still felt they were shortchanged.
Disagree.
You felt they were shortchanged?
No, I think the best elements of the movie were the soundtrack and Natalie Portman. The two best.
Jane was Natalie Portman, so you don't completely disagree with me.
Yeah.
But no,
soundtrack made
fucking.
It elevated the movie to a different level, in my opinion.
I am 100% with you, and I'm super glad someone else brought it up besides me, because I have like an extreme hard-on for Michael Giacchino's soundtrack work. He did the Batman as well earlier this year, and it's going to absolutely destroy my Spotify Wrapped. But I fucking love this dude, and I'm actually listening to the Love and Thunder soundtrack right now as we do this, and it's you're absolutely right. It elevates the movie in pretty much every single way. It's a very Giacchino score. Like, there are certain elements where I'm like, oh yeah, the dude who did the Batman did this. There's zero doubt about it. And I mean, beyond that, the whole Spider-Man MCU trilogy, Doctor Strange 1, Rogue One, the man's been all over the universes we love, and he's going to be directing the Werewolf by Night special with Moon Knight, which is absolutely awesome. So yeah, Michael Giacchino, pretty much one of my favorite dudes in Marvel, all in all, and he's just doing scores, which rocks.
Score was good, and the handpicked songs were were nice. Like I was singing, like I don't know for how many days, "Sweet Child of Mine," like just I don't know. That song was stuck in my head. A lot of
I'm with you.
There were a lot of scenes.
And the way that song specifically, Sweet Child of Mine, takes on a whole new fucking meaning by the end of the movie. You're like,
damn.
Oh, that's what they meant. Like, I haven't gotten a chance to rewatch the movie, but knowing those are the themes they're building towards, this sort of fatherhood sort of thing, I think I'd see it a lot more, and I think I would appreciate it a lot more on a second viewing. I still need to get back to the theater and see it for a second time. But, like, there are multiple points throughout the movie where, like, I think Valkyrie's the one who I can't remember if Valkyrie or Jane says it, but one of them said, or maybe it was it might have been Korg, who said that they think Thor would make a pretty good dad. And like when I say it out loud, I think it was Korg.
It's Korg.
It was Korg. Like they have multiple conversations about throughout the movie about the themes of fatherhood, and especially with Gore and his daughter very early on, how all of it is for his daughter. I think I would appreciate it a lot more on a second viewing. So I really did like those aspects of it, and there were some other really kick-ass hand-picked songs.
I love the just the total blatant. We're just gonna play a badass song and have some cool shit happen on screen. You know, It was just like, all right, it's time to go. You know, like, all right, Thor's gonna do his thing. Here we go.
The whole saving the people while desecrating one of their holy structures was an interesting way to open the movie, and an extremely Taika Waititi humor sort of beat. It was definitely right up his alley. If you've watched like Jojo Rabbit, you know he doesn't make movies that you won't find a little bit of a fucked upness in the comedy. Jojo Rabbit, you know, the comedic Nazi movie. Very, very, also very sad. It's very nuanced. I'm discrediting it quite a bit by saying that, but I really enjoy that movie. But Taika Waititi and his hands are just all over this. You know, you can just feel the Waititi-ness of it. The man's got a fucking feel.
I think I'm comfortable in saying I love this man. He's I'm
in love with him.
Yeah.
He's also like extraordinarily attractive.
What's his hair and facial hair in combination just works. And his voice is so great. What's is he IG-11?
He is IG-11.
Yeah, he's IG-11, which is sick, and he's freaking baller in the sacrifice play. He has the sacrifice play.
And he directed that episode of The Mandalorian, the season 1 finale. So Taika Waititi got a great resume on his belt, and if you want to be even more physically attracted to him, I can't recommend watching Our Flag Means Death enough. Fucking fantastic comedy on HBO starring Taika Waititi across from Reese Darby. But yeah, Waititi fucking rocks. And there's been a lot of back and forth on Twitter, you know, about how someone needs to take the reins from this man on Thor. Like, people think that the Thor movies need to be taken more seriously again, and frankly, I'm just kind of like, I'm over the complaints about the MCU needing to take it more seriously. I would appreciate it, you know, but we do get that other places. You know, within the last year, we've gotten Zack Snyder's Justice League, Peacemaker, which was, I mean, according to the Snyder fans, was a big, dumb dick fest where they made fart and cum jokes all the time. But it was sad, and it was deep, and it had layers and shit. The Suicide Squad, the Batman, like, we gotten all those. We're good on that side of things. I'm okay with some not the greatest movies of all time, but God, am I having some fucking fun and thinking it's cute. It's making me fucking smile and shit. I need that out of comic book movies, and this has got that in surplus.
I think there's a common trend of like people around our age or maybe a little older, or I don't know, just kind of around our age. They're expecting Marvel to mature with like their age and expecting it to, to become more gritty and dark for some reason, like just because we were this age during this movie, it means that by now they should be dark and rated R. But like, it's all for the kids. Like that's what these movies are for. They're for children. That's what they're ultimately selling to for the merchandising, where they make all the money. Like, it's businessly, like on the business side meant for children, and just on the narrative side, it's pretty much meant for children with a story that's serious enough to keep adults entertained.
And the darkness and the intensity of some aspects of this movie, they had to lighten the fuck out of it on another side of the story. Like
capturing all the kids, putting them in a cage,
and scaring the shit out of them. Can you imagine being a 7-year-old in this movie theater watching those parts? Like,
dude, can we talk about a villainous Christian Bale?
Yeah,
like,
he killed that shit, man.
He was sick in this role.
He really bodied. I do want to take it back to your comment a second ago about how people expect these movies to age with us. Like, for me, that ends with Endgame. That's what that was. It was a send off to the heroes we grew up with. It's time to usher in a new era of fans. And here's the thing: a seemingly disconnected narrative, very loosely tied together by a few things. It's another phase 1, just with a lot more expansion. Like there is a lot more characters being introduced in this version of phase 1. Like we're setting up a whole new side of Marvel, and the
movies just aren't linking together yet, which is insane. Like we've had like in phase 4, our movies that we've gotten, with leading up to Infinity War and Endgame, like they were all connected and they're all leading to something, and it was all like, I don't know, all crazy. But now we're in that setting up stage, the planting the seeds stage, to where we really have no idea where this is going until that first like link up movie, which is whatever. I don't even know when that's going to be.
I do love that we're setting up this whole side of Marvel, but the dangers are the more you're introducing, the faster you're doing it, the less I feel each project was thoughtfully crafted. And many have had this problem with the MCU for years, and I love the Batman to death, but it kind of fucked up watching other superhero movies for me, like, and going like, yeah, this is good, like. The Batman is good, you know what I'm saying? The other ones are like, they're fun comic book movies now, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can hardly look at other comic book movies and go, yeah, there's a lot of quality here, after seeing it. But, and I know I sound like a corny Battinson fan.
No, but it's true, because the Batman is comic booky, but also just a good movie.
It struck such a perfect balance, and I'd say this one, it had the bones to strike that balance, like it did have this narrative that was really heartfelt and moving and all these things. But something with all these movies getting pumped out is that I don't really feel the stakes as much as I once did.
Yeah.
Like Jane dies and like, yeah, there's a tear coming. Spoilers. Shit.
Whoa.
Yeah, shit, sorry.
What?
Yeah, Jane dies, and like I want to cry, but I don't know that I did. Like
she was like disconnected for such a long time that it was like, oh, she's back, and now she's Thor, but she's also dying, and it was like, okay.
And that's the thing with all these projects. Can't help but feel like the mighty Thor, Jane Foster, should have got her own thing prior to being in Love and Thunder then. You know what I'm saying?
What if episode? something, like
Right.
like even just that, like, little bit. But I don't know. Yeah, I did just kind of rush her back in, and I mean, like,
And
story
rushed
was
her right back out.
they picked a pretty, universally sad, just storyline for her. But it just wasn't. It didn't have the same weight as, I don't know,
As
trying
it
to think
could have.
of
Like that's all I'm like. This has the ability to be heartbreaking every time Jane's on screen. She's handling it pretty lightly. She's cracking jokes about it and stuff. Like, it's stage 4 cancer, Darcy. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do about it? Like, what? And so, like, she does handle it the way Jane Foster would handle it and stuff, with just kind of without batting an eye and sort of being like, yeah, it like science, bitch, got my ass. But even so, I didn't feel all of it. And the moments where I do feel it are when Thor and her interact on screen, whenever he learns about it, and whenever there is one piece of acting by Chris Hemsworth. It's been 2 weeks since I saw the movie, but there is one piece of facial acting by Chris Hemsworth that I think really might be the best thing he's ever done in the MCU in this movie. And it's as soon as Jane dies. Like, the very first face he makes when she slips away, that's what put a tear in my eye. It wasn't, oh no, Jane's gone, I'm gonna miss Jane. It's like, oh fuck, look what this did to Thor. And that's when I know a character wasn't utilized properly, when they are a device for someone else's story. I would have loved to have felt the gravity of that moment for Jane's sake. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. It's for Thor's.
It's just kind of like, oh man, Thor lost another person. Like, he's lost everyone, dude.
But isn't he supposed to lose everyone? He's a fucking god. Like,
yeah, in
outlive
theory.
everyone.
I mean, but now
except Loki,
he has a god daughter.
Hey, listen to this though. Coming into this movie, the shit Thor had gone through, right? He'd lost Loki, lost his father, lost his mother, lost Heimdall,
lost his sister.
Well, yeah, lost his sister.
Didn't really care
to
lose
she's
her.
evil.
Yeah, did lose his sister though. I'll give it to you. Lost Tony and lost Natasha.
Lost Asgard.
Who's
Lost
Natasha?
Asgard. Yeah, and that list of tattooed list on his back features Natasha and Tony,
Who's
which
Natasha?
made me Black Widow.
She died?
He has not seen Endgame.
When did she die? How'd she
Endgame.
die?
She sacrifices herself for the Soul Stone.
She sacrificed her life for Pakistan?
Yeah, if you haven't seen Endgame, it's like, it's just not gonna click. You really, I still can't believe that you have not seen that movie.
It's too long of a movie, dude.
I understand, but it's like, it's a revolutionary, it's the
Isn't
biggest
it 3
movie
hours
of
long or
all
something?
time. Second biggest movie
3
of all
hours
time.
on the dot.
Yeah, that's too long for me. I can't.
No, yeah, and like that's the thing, is that if you don't have interest in seeing it, I say don't. Like, if you're like, nah, I'm good, then don't. You're fucking.
Just tell me what happens. All right, cool. Iron Man.
Thanos loses.
Yeah, Thanos loses. Iron Man dies. Who cares about Iron Man? And Black Widow dies. Cool.
Who cares about Iron Man?
I love having just like the biggest MCU casual of all time on the podcast for Thor: Love and Thunder. That's so fucking funny.
It's not like Tony Stark.
I've never seen an Iron Man or anything. Iron Man was always my least favorite character, so good thing that he died. Proud of him.
Yeah, it was good.
He did something.
I actually cried tears of joy.
Without Iron Man, none of this would ever happen. He caused all the problems. He deserved to die because of it. Sure.
I guess it's one way to look at it.
He deserved to die because of it.
Well, he started the problem, so if that's the only way that it would work, then...
Hey man, that's a spicy meatball that you're throwing.
Iron Man's the most overrated Avenger. Don't at me. He's not even a superhero. He just has money, dude.
Batman.
Spit.
Yeah, Batman's the same way. He's not a superhero. Dude just has money.
Fuck Bruce Wayne.
Well,
Fuck Batman too.
And he just has
What about Batman?
Mixed martial
Fuck him
arts
too.
scares. Mixed martial
You got the
arts
Black Air
scares.
Forces on today, Timo.
Yeah, he
You
ain't fucking
you're
around.
on.
He's here to roast this shit into the ground. But let's get back to Thor: Love and Thunder, though. We were talking Endgame, which has one of the more iconic villains of our time in Thanos, and a good place to start with talking to this movie starts 25 minutes in. But good place to talk about this movie is about gore and about Christian Bale's portrayal of such a fucking wild character. I really, really dig his portrayal here.
And people
this
say
is-
the desert can't age a person. You know, like Obi-Wan, the age didn't make sense. Look at this.
Just look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, he was pretty messed up. That did not look fun at all. What they were going.
Was
through.
this dude a character beforehand? This is the first time I've ever seen him.
This is
Yeah.
the first time any of us have seen him. And that's an important question, though. Did you feel like they assumed you knew who he was?
No, but you guys made it sound like I should have known who he was. So that's why I
wow.
was confused.
Well, I guess just like after the movie, like now I know who he is, and we're like super nerds that knew who he was when we saw him in the trailer, and then we looked up at all the comic, lines that he went
I
through.
read a lot of
and
lot of Thor in anticipation of the movie and stuff by Jason Aaron. Fantastic Thor runs by Jason Aaron, by the way.
That
But
makes so much more sense. That dude was probably my favorite villain out of every MCU villain ever.
oh no shit! I can't hold you for that. He's one of my favorites. And that's what's been crazy about Phase 4 so far. Movie side of things, Green Goblin, No Way Home, Wenwu and Shang-Chi, fucking Icarus in Eternals, along with the Erishim the Judge, and Scarlet Witch and Multiverse of Madness, and Gore. It's been a good run.
Scarlet Witch was a good girl.
Oh well,
Well,
You missed a
spoilers for
lot.
Doctor Strange 2 for you there.
yeah. Yeah, she's the villain in that movie, even though she has been good. Fallen angel sort of situation there.
It's because they killed her boy.
They did kill her boy.
She wants her boys.
She wants her boys.
She loves her boys.
Wait, is Vision not dead?
There is a
Vision.
version of him out there, maybe.
Yeah, you got to watch WandaVision to get that part.
That shit looks boring. No thanks.
It's my favorite MCU show. But
There's too many shows, dude.
I know.
Too many movies.
hey, and you are a perfect perspective to have on this podcast because you are a defining sort of image of the person who is sure, I'll go check one out every once in a while, but it's too damn much. I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And that's becoming a problem for a lot more people. Even people who have cared are there's just too much now. The anticipation, the excitement's no longer there.
Imagine being a new fan and then coming into hearing what's the next movie that's coming out? Is it Wakanda Forever or is it Quantumania?
Black Panther 2.
So people are wanting to be like, oh, Black Panther 2, I remember that first one. That was really big. I want to get back into it. And then they're like, oh, I have to watch 28 movies and 6 shows, 7 maybe, and then to get everything, to know, that's what people feel like, or that's what they hear.
After Miss Marvel ended, the MCU officially crossed 100 hours of viewing. If you wanted to watch the entire MCU, it will take you over 100 hours.
That's insane. That's 4 days.
That's a
4
joke, right?
straight
No,
days.
that's straight up how much time.
That's 5. That's 4.5 days.
That's how much screen time is in the MCU. They've used up over 100 hours of screen time.
See, and I also think what also kind of makes it feel like there's even more is because everything with Star Wars that's coming out, So, like, when you combine the two together, it just feels like there's so much more, even though they're two separate entities.
Right, and you're never anticipating anything anymore. You know, like there are certain things that you're more excited for than other things. You know, that stuff that will get you to engage with it. But for the MCU, it's at a point now where if you want to get something that happens here in the next movie, you're going to have to watch the show that came before it. You know, if you watch Multiverse of Madness without watching WandaVision, you'll get it, but you won't like it.
Yeah.
You know, like
you'd be like, why is she? What her boy?
You won't
children?
get it.
She has children
like,
now.
I don't get this. Like, even if you have watched all the movies, you won't get the plot. Like, it's the Disney Plus streaming model has greatly increased the content for which I can put on this podcast, and the podcast makes me very happy. So I'm happy to do it. You know what I'm saying? Happy to watch it all. I'm happy to discuss it all here. But goddamn, the just like consumerism is absurd.
What's the better version? In massive tied together universe where every movie is part of a continuity and, you know, you're getting a lot, or a fully, you know, free, creative liberty, don't have to assume any timeline or anything. You can just make your own superhero movie, you know, like DC, or not MCU. Like,
I think there's pros and cons to both, you know, and I think that what the MCU has created is genuinely unique and done on a scale that it has never and will never be done on again. There will never be another MCU, you know, like this is it.
I think eventually it gets to a point to where it's too much and you have to just restart. Or and what's that point? You know, like, are they just going to be like, all right, multiverse war, and the end is just the universe is back to normal, but everyone you know is completely gone, and now it's, you know, like a new thing.
Oh, at that point, it'll probably just be whenever Disney buys, you know, everything else, and they're just like, we're going to put
takes
it all
over the literal world.
Yeah, and we're just going to put it all in one thing. We're grooming your children, says Disney. Of course. But we strayed away quite a bit in a conversation about the MCU at large. It does pertain to this movie pretty heavily, but while the MCU is becoming sort of a machine and has been a machine that my instincts want me to dislike, I can't help but keep coming back, and I can't help but continue to enjoy it. If I'm being real, you know, there's been probably over 30 things in the MCU now at this point. You know, let me head to the letterbox real quick and tell you where Thor: Love and Thunder is coming in at on the overall MCU ranking for me.
Okay,
it's top 15. You know, like that's how much I enjoy this movie, and in a 35 MCU projects, top 15 ain't nothing to scoff at. It's at 13. It's right above Multiverse of Madness at 14.
Top 5,
right
top
below.
5, top 5.
You think it's top 5? Well, I guess of what you've
seen.
Fuck
yeah, it's top 5.
You've watched 5 MCU movies.
I don't even know if I've watched 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's see. Let's try to count this. All right, I've seen Black Panther. I've seen Ragnarok.
There you go.
I've seen every big movie instead of Endgame. So, like, I saw Infinity War, then all the ones before it.
Age of Ultron, The Avengers, and Civil War.
Yep, saw all of those. I didn't like Civil War. I thought it was terrible.
All right. Fair.
Yeah.
That is Tillman's favorite MCU movie.
Yep.
Well, Tillman also is he has bad takes. Because I think this movie is the best.
I need a podcast about Tillman and Trenton.
I look-key think this is the best MCU movie. especially
Just
for like
to
a
get,
casual viewer. No, like mainly for a casual viewer, because like it's just fun. Like Thor's just a good like character. Like everyone likes Thor because he's just like he's hot, funny, and then you have another hot, funny girl in the movie. Then you have a killer soundtrack. Like I don't know. I think it's easy.
Frankly, everyone in this movie is pretty much hot and funny.
Yeah, and so yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was one of my favorite movies.
I can't hold you there. And that's the thing, is that like if there's 35 things in the MCU, I love at the very least 34 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like none of these are like God, I hate it. I'm not going to watch it ever. Even though there are some things I haven't watched in a really long time and probably won't for a really long time. I do like them when I watch them. I enjoy them quite thoroughly, but Love and Thunder comes in at 13, just above Multiverse of Madness at 14, and right below Spider-Man Homecoming at 12. But
guys, I just want to let you know, whenever I said my take about this being one of my number one favorite Marvel movie, Joseph did spit up his coffee that he made. Because
you said that this might be the best Marvel movie of all time, and yeah, that got me. Just because there are undoubtedly better movies than this one in the MCU.
And if we're expanding it to Marvel movies, at least two outside of the MCU that are for sure better.
Time out. I like Guardians of the Galaxy more. I like Guardians of the Galaxy
There's a perfect example. This Guardians of the Galaxy is what Thor is trying to be, but still being a big hero movie. It's like, it's trying to be James Gunn, but also have like a Sam Raimi Multiverse of Madness storyline together. And instead of like doing well at both of them, they just kind of did like average at both.
On both sides.
And it's like, it made for a good movie and fun movie, but like, it just, if they leaned any way in one direction, I feel like the movie just gets better. Like if they focus on one of them more, maybe throw out a little more story and just go for absolute fun, or, you know, maybe make Thor, maybe this one a little more serious. You know, he starts out fun, but then he's like, no, like I need to take, I'm doing serious work here, and you know, I don't know.
And that's the thing about Guardians of the Galaxy, is that they are extremely well-crafted movies that are extremely funny, that really do move you to tears. Like they make me feel things when I watch Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, like there's something James Gunn's capable of in the superhero writing side of things that it just gets me. It's never failed to get me. The Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, both Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He's got the shit on lock, and I think Taika Waititi is. I think the influence is clear from Ragnarok and this movie, especially this movie, from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
I thought that James Gunn was the director of this movie from watching the trailer. Whenever it first came out, I remember. Like, I think it was on a pod where you're like, oh, no, this is Taika Waititi. And I was like, oh, what? Like, I'm like, the graphics just looked James Gunn. The music was James Gunn. It just felt like him. And
I hate to say it because I love Taika Waititi, but if this is a James Gunn movie, it's almost certainly better. And he almost certainly doesn't allow them to make him make a movie in less than 2 hours. Like, I think that's something James Gunn kind of is like. He works within Marvel's boundaries, but he's also like, I'm going to make a movie that I would like to see. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I there is sort of this, like, I love Taika Waititi because of his carelessness and sort of being like this fun-loving, easygoing guy. But, you know, there are certain things about him that make me go, you know, there were certain things in this movie that you can tell he didn't really give a shit about. You know, there have been interviews where him and Tessa Thompson are like looking at the movie, making fun of it as they're watching scenes of it in interviews, making fun of some of the VFX work and stuff, and which is straight up shitty for one. But for two, it's like there are things in the movie he didn't even notice. Like, you're the one who made the fucking movie. What do you mean you didn't notice this? Like that's just a certain degree of carelessness that I can't absolutely love. I do love him just being like, yeah, Disney, I'll take that fucking check, give me that. And then, you know, making whatever the fuck he wanted. And like, that's the thing. That's exactly what I get from this movie, though, is that it's just kind of like it's fun as fuck. You know, like I can tell this man was just like, let's make a fun fucking movie. Let's all get high and have an orgy on set here. It's kind of the energy that's brought via this movie. But and again,
literally the word
absolutely
orgy.
no hate.
MCU canon like that. I feel like this is the first MCU drop of the word orgy.
It's actually not.
No.
And,
Whoa, Valkyrie is Charlotte Hale from Westworld.
Yep,
Yeah.
Tessa Thompson, man. But orgy actually word was dropped in
Wait.
Thor Ragnarok.
What?
Jesus.
What'd you realize now?
Luke
What's up?
Hemsworth is in Westworld too.
Yeah, he's Stubbs. He's Ashley Stubbs. Yeah. A lot
The
of
multiverse
MCU
is
crossover.
wild. It's all canon.
Anthony Hopkins, you know, Ford, Dr. Robert Ford, Odin in the MCU, Thor's dad.
Yep.
No way.
The writer,
yeah.
like the main dude who created Westworld, that's Odin.
Yeah, all of it. Check out the Westworld Watch Weekly if you're fucking with Westworld. Me and Joe talking every week about Westworld lately.
So fucking good.
So fucking good. But I don't recall. But I do know that this movie, the thing we keep coming back to is that it's fun as fuck, and I'll continue coming back to that. You know, there's several elements of this movie that I do really really enjoy. You know, I think Chris Hemsworth puts on quite the performance. I think Natalie Portman does too. Christian Bale bodies it. Like, that's the thing. The actors are having a ton of fun and doing really really well at it. You know, the directing's really really fun, and he's doing pretty well at it. It really is the writing side of this movie that makes me go, you know what? It lost a little steam for me. Like, it just feels like there wasn't enough for me to be like, yes, this is critically good.
So how do you think, Kevin Feige approaches Taika Waititi? Like, does he just say, like, all right, this, and this need to happen? You can have it happen in any way, and here's how do you think
I couldn't tell you how I expect it happens. I can tell you how, if I was a creative, how I would approach it with a creator who was gonna, if I was Kevin Feige.
I guess the question I'm trying to get at is how much creative freedom do you think Taika Waititi actually has?
A great deal. I think he has plenty of creative freedom. I think he has quite a bit of creative freedom. There's not a lot in this movie that makes me go, well, it's obvious they wanted to save something for later here, or they couldn't mention this here because what does it mean for this? Like, I genuinely think Taika Waititi probably took a swing at this movie, and they were pretty much like, yeah, sure, go for that. The only things that I can think of are maybe the Guardians. Like, the reason the Guardians have such limited involvement in this movie is probably because they're like, we got plans for the Guardians later on. You can't do certain things with them. In which case, he handled it exactly correct. I thought the montage at the beginning of the movie to explain why he's not with the Guardians throughout this movie is perfect. I think it's a really great way to open the movie, and it gets us really, really familiar very quick with the dynamic that they've all got going on. And I also, the way they frame certain things in the trailer that come across differently in the movie. Like, the first time I'm watching the trailer and he goes just look into the eyes of the people you love, and Thor follows him. I took that as Thor being like, yeah, I love you, Star-Lord. I'm looking into your eyes. But in reality, no, he's insecure. He wants to be the person.
Me.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be looking at me.
He wants to be the person Quill loves, but he's not. So there are certain things about this that are
it's love, Tars. It's every movie, if you can boil it down to love. He's just,
at least, and that's the thing, is that this did end up having a heartfelt story that I do really, really like, and I don't want to downplay how much I enjoy this movie, or how much even so, if it wasn't the best, how much it warmed my heart. You know, I might not have been like, this is beautiful, but I was like, aw, this shit is cute. You know, it made me feel the way fucking Paddington does. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yeah, I love this little guy. Although I will say those movies are damn good. I don't want to completely lump them in here, but
I think it's time to theorize. But what is there really to theorize about? You know, like, okay, I think Eternity has some cool aspects to it that could go places. Like,
well,
is it done?
They...
Is it done? Like, is it only the first? Was Gore the first person to reach him ever?
Oh yeah.
Like, no one has just. I guess the Bifrost really isn't that of like it's not available.
You can't just
like
access the Bifrost.
So,
like, I get the impression Asgard was the only.
Yo, you don't think Odin went there? You don't think Odin was like, I have the Bifrost in any way I want ever. I'm a fucking god king. Let me just get one with anything I want real quick.
Well, that's the thing, is that, like, judging by the movie's logic, Gore has to be the first. Otherwise, it completely collapses in on itself. If Gore's not the first, he doesn't get his wish. I don't doubt, you know, maybe...
It just seemed that the thing that it was in, whatever ruin it was in, has been visited many, many times. It's, like, crumbled. It's not new. It's, like, many people have gotten there. I guess maybe they've gotten there, but they haven't had the key to open it.
They've gotten there, haven't had the key to open it, gotten there, been stopped. You know...
By who?
Whoever the fuck.
Yeah, who are they afraid
of?
How are the gods so confident? They're like, he'll never reach it. Like, they're like, he'll never reach it, but he just, he's there, Stormbreaker in. I guess he can just literally travel just wherever darkness is, and like, where was the location of it, and how did he know where it was? Is it just a known thing, but it's just like no one tries because there's so many traps and things in the way that you'd be stupid to go? Or like...
If they didn't expressly say it, you would remember it better than I would.
I don't think they did. I think it was just kind of like, the Bifrost is the key, and he's been researching this for so long. He just knows where it is. But I don't even think they said where this ruined thing was, where the gate was, or whatever.
See, I thought, maybe they didn't expressly state it. I think they just, I guess not. Maybe they did just go, we're going to the planet without color. It's so dark that,
maybe
like, I thought that's kind of where they explained it.
Wait, that's where it was? In the Shadow Realm place? I thought maybe they said it was at the center of the universe. I think I remember like Zeus saying that, or one of the gods, or someone saying that eternity at the center of the universe, or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it is.
So, is Stormbreaker the only key? So, like, was there never a key before then? Like, could that be why no one? Because they didn't even know that there was a key.
That's my thing, is that the Bifrost, it is pretty exclusive to Asgard, at least as far as we know. And the only object from Asgard that we know has the capability to do this is Stormbreaker.
Could Mjolnir, or whatever it's called, do it?
Mjolnir?
No, it can't. And the comedy with Mjolnir and Stormbreaker in this movie is fucking hilarious.
Oh, the back and forth between Mjolnir, Stormbreaker, and the like Zeus's bolt
slides into the camera.
It's time you have your first beer, you know, like the cute moments and the little tickle or whatever. Like,
oh man, now that we're talking about the movie again, there were a lot of really cute moments. Thor telling Mjolnir that he has to promise to keep Jane safe no matter what. So when Jane visits, it's like, oh shit, you need help. I'm gonna protect your ass. Like, that's so fucking cool. That's a really awesome little part of this movie. The fact that Gore's daughter is played by Chris Hemsworth's daughter. It's his
Didn't know
actual
that.
daughter in real life. So that's just a cute little, like, she ends up being his daughter on screen. Chances are there's going to be
Come
more stuff
on,
there.
that's so freaking cute, dude.
Right.
Aw.
But,
Okay. Yeah, whatever. So are they just gonna?
the kids getting the power of Thor,
Dude,
that shit was fucking awesome.
dude, I was like during that scene before he gave him the powers. I'm like, are they really just about to go up and smack with like little hunks of metal? I'm like, is Thor really about to like get these kids killed here? Like, I'm like, they don't win this. I'm like,
stuffed animal
like-
with the lightning eyes
like,
and shit.
and maybe he just goes off and he just kills them all, or like, I don't know. I'm like, what? Like,
Good
I'm
job,
like,
young ones.
dude. I'm like, dude, what's happening? And then like when he's like, all right, he could just do that, which was, I don't care that like if he never knew he could, or if he knew like that's just a Thor thing. I don't know. I'm glad it just happened. And it was just.
Oh yeah,
like,
me too. No, like just fuck it, man. Never have I ever done this before. Sure, could it have come in handy once or twice? Yeah, but do I give a fuck? No. Nah, these kids are worthy of Thor, and maybe he can only do it to other Asgardians or some shit if you want to. Or no, because some of those kids
they
were
were all
Asgardian.
different. Yeah.
Hey, they were Asgardian in spirit, though. You know, what you stand for, you're Asgardians. But
I guess Jane did go. Dude, I don't like. How did she get there? Like, was it Thor that
Mjolnir, man.
that made her Asgardian, and then she was like, I don't know.
I think once you become like a Thor, it's kind of like, well, I don't think you really have a choice now, honey. You're going to Valhalla. I mean, if you die in battle, yeah, we're gonna send you to Valhalla.
But she was a human, and there was. Oh wait, no, because
she died in a battle with cancer.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's not just she died on the battlefield. Nah, she did die in battle. It was just with cancer, and that shit really is sad.
Are you
That
saying
shit's
she
really
shouldn't be
sad.
going to Valhalla?
No, I'm saying that's why she did go to Valhalla. Yeah. Don't you worry.
Is that the first human ever?
She's not
shit.
human.
Not anymore. She's a god.
True.
I don't know.
Or
I don't know, man.
it's so like we have all these different realms, like in afterlives and stuff now, like with Moon Knight and Miss Marvel, and now Thor. Like Black Panther has the astral plane. We have all these different I don't know, dimensions.
Yeah, we've grown. We've been brought up in a rather monotheistic society, so it is hard to wrap our minds around the idea of there being all of the options. Like, what does that even look like? Well, it looks like what it looks like. Fuck it.
It's kind of the only option that they have, though. They can't just be like, all right, Christianity is the only religion that is real. Deal with it. That just would not go over well. But I like how they're just like, fuck it. All of them, real. Like, I think that's just what they're like. They're just gonna be like,
oh, and the God place is what kind of confirms that. There's
that's true.
There's all sorts of gods, and I really, really loved that scene.
Dude, Russell Crowe
as Zeus, man. That was we had theories in the
whenever he came down on the stage, little dress, little
he did
thing, and then he walked down dude, his little mannerisms. Oh,
dude,
man.
I loved it, and I was glad he wasn't dead. I'm just like, yeah, fuck yeah. If you can give me Russell Crowe more, give me Russell Crowe more. But the fact that in that moment, throughout the rest of the movie, I'm going, I watched that and I go, oh fuck, it's Thor that kills Zeus. And one thing I also tend to forget about the Thor movies is that Thor has no issue capping a motherfucker if need be. I know he struggled with that big time with Thanos, but I don't know, man. Seems like he has no qualm killing following that.
I mean, he thought Zeus killed Korg, and he was like, all right, you're dead,
bro.
You're dead.
And then the fact that they immediately turn it around and be like, yeah, Korg's alive. You're like, oh shit, did Thor just kill Zeus for no fucking reason?
Is Korg that big of a character?
Well, he's Thor's best homie, you know, throughout the years after, and this is a part of Endgame, throughout the years after he kills Thanos at the beginning of Endgame, Thor kills Thanos, he goes into a really big depressive episode over having killed an unarmed man who did not have any defense up. He just executed him, and he had a real tough time dealing with that. And Korg was his homie, lived with him for like 5 straight years, looked out for him, was there for him through it all. And an important 5-year period there, the blip. You know, Jane's little comment. What's it been? 3, 4 years? And
8 years.
Thor
7
coming
months.
with 8 years. That's about a 5-year difference. I'd say Miss Jane Foster got a good old fashioned blipping.
Coincidence?
Oh fuck yeah! You're on the Steve Harrington wins a fight episode. You're on the Steve Harrington wins a fight. He never wins a fight.
Nah,
Sorry,
but this.
Trenton's also watching Stranger Things while we record a podcast. It's the first time for that.
Wait, what were we just on? Fricker.
Thor and Thor killing Zeus a couple seconds ago, and then we were on shit.
Something with Jane.
Yeah, it was something with
think.
Jane, right?
Oh, fart.
Don't smoke weed, kids.
That short-term memory. Oh, I thought I had it. I didn't. It's okay. One thing that I really thought was going to happen, though, was I thought we were going to see Gore go off way more than we did. I thought he was going to, go to that, God, where that God place was, and just wreck house, or something.
And even if he didn't, I know we get the montage where it's like Thor's seeing that he's committing this carnage, and we see the aftermath, which is cool, and it presented the same effect as, it was almost even more ominous that we didn't watch him do it. It was just all these gods are fucking dead, you know. But would it not have been kind of a little bit more familiarizing with just the brutality of Gore to have seen him do such things, slay that fucking giant of a god? I don't know, seems like that reminded me of an episode of Rick and Morty where they're like, oh no, there's something really cool happening over there. Oh fuck, what are we? Oh dude, you got to see this. You got to see this, and it's just on Rick and Morty, just watching it happen, but they don't show us the event that's happening. That's what it felt like to me. It's oh,
damn.
Oh, Comedy Central isn't giving, or Adult Swim isn't giving us the budget to show you this right now, but shit like that. That's kind of.
We don't have the time. We're limited to 2 hours, so here you go. They're all dead. He's strong. Oh, whenever he was, whenever he's confronting Thor and Jane and Valkyrie in Asgard, I guess, and he's walking towards Thor, and then he uses his little shadow jump to jump forward, and the shriek. Or piano, bling, it was a super sharp, little jump scare moment. I wish they did, they dipped in a little more, in the horror side of him a little bit more. Cause, that moment, I don't know, he was scary.
He was a freaky motherfucker.
Yeah, it was scary. Creepy, can come out from the dark anywhere, and can manipulate the dark. It was such a cool, power set. And it was freaky. And I don't know, I think they maybe didn't want to just make the movie dark, it was more of a lighthearted, fun type movie, so they didn't want to just riddle it with,
And we're coming off a Multiverse of Madness where we had Sam Raimi try to play with it a little bit more. They were probably thinking about it that way, but I don't disagree at all. Gore really lends himself to be that sort of villain, and I don't think they wasted Gore the way some people think they wasted Gore. I don't agree with that. I think we got a really good performance out of Christian Bale. Do I think the movie's his time on screen could have been more well spent? Probably. I just think we should have gotten more. I think that what we got was awesome, but I think we should have gotten more.
It's the thing, though. is that, like, we could get more. Like, he could come back at any point, just in a different multiverse. Like, in a different universe. Like, and it's just like, all right, here's the Gore you know, but in this universe, he fucking killed Thor. And opened eternity and wished for every god to die. Here's what happened. Like, you know, or, I don't, like.
So, riddle me this, Batman. We see at the end, as Gore's about to die and he wishes for his daughter to come back, in the reflection of the water, eternity takes the shape of his daughter. Is Thor now raising eternity? Like, in a weird roundabout way?
That's
like,
why I think that, like, this assumption that the first person to get there, and that's it, is it, like, it's, we shouldn't just assume that that's right. Like, I feel that it switches every time a wish is made in some way. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just have the feeling that Gore was not the first one in this universe to get there. Like, it really just happened now. Like, if this has been a legend that gods have known about for so long, and, like, every god is super selfish and would want that, you know, like, I don't know. And that reflection meant something. You know, it wasn't just, like, to make a cool transition. Like, it definitely meant something. And whether that's what he wished for is, like, give my daughter your powers so that she lives forever, eternity, you know, for eternity.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that's what he wished for. But
wishes for his daughter to become eternity.
So she can just, is that her power? She can just grant any wish. She's just goated. She can just write the universe.
Maybe so. Maybe so. I don't know, man.
And Thor has to deal with someone who's more powerful than him. You know, like, that's the, you know, he loves her, but he's like, oh my gosh, you're better than me, but I don't want to admit it. I'm still Thor a little bit, you know? And then he realizes, like, no, I should be proud that you're better than me. That's the next, like, Thor arc.
Maybe so.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of, like, what this could mean, or, like, what seeds were planted, or, like, what it means for the more grand scale stuff.
I don't know that it does mean a ton for the more grand scale stuff. I think it certainly sets up Valkyrie to be probably a bigger part of our regular MCU, sort of, instead of just being a Thor character, maybe granting her some access to more MCU stuff, because we see New Asgard has become sort of commercialized. It's a tourist destination now. She's basically the president of a new country on Earth, you know, like she's the leader of a country, you know, she's really famous. She's doing commercials for Old Spice and shit. So it wouldn't be surprising if Tessa Thompson starts popping out a little bit more in the MCU, you know. I think there's rumors that she's casted in the Marvels, the Captain Marvel sequel and stuff. So, like, that would be really cool, you know. And the thing is that the other characters who it seems like were ripe with potential other stuff are Jane and Gore. And we end the movie and they're dead. And so, like,
they had this, like, dichotomy to them. Like, both things, like, they were both dying, but this weapon was keeping them alive and, like, kind of corrupting them in a way. I'm not really corrupting them with Jane.
In opposite directions.
But yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Like, same things were happening, and both weapons were being destroyed at the same time, and, like, both were dying at the same time. You know, it's very connected. And
yin-yang sort of thing.
If they just dove deeper into that and just give us a little more Jane, give us a little more Gore struggling with, like, I have all this power, but I still don't have what I want. And just him getting more angry, like Vader, you know, like seeing that internal struggle.
And how different is this movie if it is the mighty Thor and the main character is Jane Foster and Thor's a supporting character, where we're more focused on Jane's story throughout the movie and Thor is just sort of a side character who plays the role Jane did, where it's just kind of like, yeah, I've loved you, and I love you, and I missed you, but shit, man, this is rough out here. I think you still could have maintained a lot of the same emotional beats and just expanded on Natalie Portman's Jane a lot, and I think it could have benefited a lot from that.
Who were the two Celestials hanging out at that place?
What is Omnipotency?
Yeah, Omnipotent City. Yeah, who were those? Were they? I don't know. I didn't really get a good look at them. I was just like, oh,
I haven't looked into it. I couldn't tell you all the Celestials off the top of my head, but yeah, like Celestials just booling an Omnipotent City, which I guess makes sense. They're all over the fucking universe.
Oh, I guess what's up with Hercules? I mean, like post-credit scenes are always the little seed drops, you know, and always like the little thing of like, hey, here's what's to come next or later on.
Seems like Zeus wants to get his revenge.
Maybe is Zeus the new big bad?
In Thor's story, maybe, yeah. Like
I feel like they're gonna build him up to be like a big bad, and then just like a celestial or like higher level like multiversal being is just gonna come in and like squash him, you know, just to show like the like just the hierarchy.
I could definitely see that,
and like because Russell Crowe
is that. Yeah, you don't just waste Russell Crowe like that. Russell Crowe's going to be back, but that's the thing is that I don't think he'll be facing off directly with Thor. Like I think we'll see a lot more.
He's going to send
Roy
his
Kent,
hounds. Yeah.
Roy Kent, he's here, he's there, he's every fucking where. Love Roy Kent cashing the Marvel check as Hercules. There, it's gonna be Thor v Hercules, which will be really fucking cool. I just and you know, like, I like to think that that's definitely what's going to come next, but I don't know.
What was the other post-credit scene? Hercules was
Jane making to Valhalla.
That's right. Okay.
She sees Heimdall. Just a nice little like. That's right. Heimdall.
You
made
think
it
they
to
just
Valhalla.
end it there?
Oh yeah. I don't think we're getting like a Valhalla.
Wait, was
spinoff.
Roy Kent Hercules?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like. So, but Thor, it just said at the end, Thor will return. It didn't say, like, in what, right?
Yeah, no.
Gotta think it's the next Guardians movie. That he just, like, no. I guess he is just on his own, and he, like, left him and was so heartbreaking.
He had to move on.
Yeah, so heartbreaking. Yeah, I wonder where he does show up next.
Thor 5.
Damn.
I gotta think so, but the reason that like I love post credit scenes and stuff, but Homecoming has shaken me to the point where I'm like, I don't like they've acted on a lot of post credit scenes, but they've also left a couple just completely alone. They've just been like, yep, we wanted to see what the reaction would be, didn't get a good reaction, fuck it, bye. Like with Michael Mando as Scorpion popping up at the end of Homecoming and being like, yeah, let's do this shit. You know, like, and then literally nobody knows who Peter Parker is anymore. It doesn't even fucking matter, you know, like, shit like that. I don't know. It just kind of,
And now I guess we do have a Morbius post-credit scene to throw in there too, which doesn't make any sense at all. So post-credit scenes don't really, I guess, we shouldn't hold them to the...
I mean, like, we can take a lot of solace in them. I think, like, it is fair to assume Hercules will be the next Thor antagonist.
It's just a lot of introducing new random characters that we have not heard of, like with Harry Styles coming up in the Eternals post-credit scene. Now we got Hercules, a character we've never seen before. Trying to think if there's been any others. No, I mean,
Jia Ling took over the 10 Rings at the end of Shang-Chi. Like, that's not a new character, but, you know, still Val and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Hawkeye and shit. Kingpin popping up at the end of Hawkeye. I know they're not brand new characters, but brand new characters to the MCU as we know it. There's a lot going on. But I don't know, man.
It's all there, apparently. And we just gotta figure it out.
Apparently. It's all right there for us. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't really have much else to say on Thor: Love and Thunder. I thought it was a fun movie. Is it my favorite Marvel movie ever? No. Is it the best Marvel movie ever? No. Is it the worst? Absolutely not. There have been far worse Marvel movies to have been released, and I gotta say this one's far from the bottom of the list. You know. So let's give it a rating.
I think I'm
On
ready.
the old Penny Bloom rating scale. So we got 3 ratings out of 5 stars. On a scale of 1 to 5, we've got our enjoyment, and that's just overall how much the movie connects with us, how much we're digging it overall, how it made us feel. We got the genre rating, and for this one, it'll be a superhero action comedy. I'm thinking is sort of the vibe here.
Yeah.
And that's out of 5 stars. And then just critically as a film, out of 5 stars, how are we feeling about it? And we take the average of those 3 numbers, and we go ahead and make that our overall score for the film. And I think this is gonna be solid. I think it'll be all right. So enjoyment wise, how you feeling about it?
I think I enjoyed it more than Multiverse of Madness.
5!
As much. It's either 4.9 or 5, and I don't know. I'm hesitant on the 5, which
Joseph,
makes me feel like it's a 4 or 9.
I was
but I don't
there
know.
with you. You gave that movie a 5. You
I
were
know, but
smiling
now
the
that-
whole
now that
time.
I mean, it was very fun.
You were
was.
smiling the
thing,
whole
yeah,
time. You're like, dude, this movie is...
But a 4.9 is still...
A 4.9 is a 4.9. It's like 9.8 out of 10. You know, like that's nothing to fucking
Alright,
scoff
so
at.
if I
But,
give it a 5, Colton, what do you give it?
you know, like, and I think it's important that y'all are much fresher off of the movie than I am. You know, I've had 2 weeks to sit with it. It's aged in my mind, and the way the things age with me is very, very important. For example, when I saw Elvis a couple weeks back, that movie aged really fucking good in the days after I saw it, the weeks after I saw it. Thor: Love and Thunder was a no doubt 5 when I walked out of the movie theater. And you know, maybe that's the gut rating I should be going with. But you know, removed from it, I go, all right, what are my 5 out of 5 enjoyments as far as comic book movies are concerned? And I know it's not in comparison to anything. That's not important. That's not what this is about. But I think it's worth asking. And is it exactly, if I'm thinking of a perfect, I enjoy this movie more than anything, it should be the standard for my 5 out of 5 in comic book movies? I think I gotta go more in the 4.9 range, and maybe even 4.85. Like that's sort of.
Ooh. A 4.85 are the Kill Bills. That's how we enjoyed the Kill Bill. And I feel like this is actually a fair comparison to make between these movies. They're kind of more on the fun side, funny, got some cool action, some just scenes that are just for fun and just for complete, you know, either gore and blood and kills or like just insane action.
I mean, the gold blood spewing from the guardian gods.
True.
I mean, very reminiscent of
Whoa.
the
Look how that
Hattori
was.
Hanzo.
Whoa.
The Hattori Hanzo sword slicing through motherfuckers and making them spurt. And that still puts it above Multiverse of Madness at a 4.8. My gut straight off rip was a 4.85. That was kind of where I was feeling.
Trenton, how do you feel about that? Are you saying 5?
Feel about what?
The enjoyment rate. We're saying 4.85.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine with you?
I love your support, and I appreciate you. 4.85 it is for the enjoyment, which does still put it 0.05 above Love and Thunder. And that's the thing for me, is that of the 2 MCU movies we've gotten this year, I do like this one more. I, however, do not think it's better. Or maybe not even close. But genre-wise, as a superhero action comedy, this is fun as fuck. It's a really high genre rating for me here. You know, looking at some of the other superhero action comedies that come to mind, the Deadpool movies, almost certainly, the Guardians movies. Thor Ragnarok. We've had some fun superhero action comedies, and this is amongst the more fun of them, I would say. I think it did everything it wanted to do, which now the argument that I would make is that it didn't have high aspirations. You know, like I think it did precisely what it meant to, you know, at least from a creative perspective. And whether that's good or bad, I don't think it really matters in this category. It's more of the, did they do what they meant to do? And I think this movie did precisely what it intended.
Yeah, with Doctor Strange at a 4.25 for the genre, like, it's above that. Like, that's like definitely the floor, and I feel like the floor is probably more close to like a 4.5 or like 4.6. I think this just felt like a Marvel movie. It felt like what they should kind of be. It could have been a little better, but regardless, I think anyone could watch this movie and have a good time. If you don't know a thing about Marvel and you just pop into this movie, I think it works.
It's top one.
Yeah, it works. So I think like 4.75 or maybe
that's where I was leaning. You know, like as what it does as a superhero comic book movie, I think it nails it. Do I think it's the best one ever? No, but when it comes to this genre, this is almost exactly what I expect. You know, like it made me go, oh yeah, this is what I'm here for when it comes to the MCU. Like I don't need some dramatic, awing, jaw-dropping shit that I'm just like, oh my god, I never would have fucking thought. But you know, here we are, and I really quite enjoy it. I don't think it's mind bending. I don't think it's the greatest shit I've ever seen, but it's fun.
Now, the rating where it's not gonna be where the others are.
No, not quite.
This is where Multiverse of Madness, I think, it shines more here in this category.
I agree.
For
100%.
How it's critically made, and I mean, we said earlier that like the performances were amazing, and with what they had, they did great.
Soundtrack rocked.
Was awesome.
It was very fun. Now this is where the thoughtfulness does matter for me. How much I felt the intention was there, and I don't feel that a lot coming off of this movie. I think it was heartwarming. It hit all the beats, but I don't think it took the necessary time to flesh out the things that happened in between. Like you said, great performances. I love Chris Hemsworth as Thor. This just continued to reassure me of that. Tessa Thompson, Natalie Portman, Russell Crowe popping up, Christian Bale just dominating as a villain. It was a lot of fun, and they did really, really well. But it was lacking. It was lacking in a way that was much deeper than Multiverse of Madness from a critical point of view. Like, I watched Multiverse of Madness and went, stylistically, this might be my favorite Marvel movie, just from that perspective. I can't even come close to saying that about Love and Thunder. You know, like it was fun, but it was run of the mill.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we gave Doctor Strange a 4.25, and like Thor is definitely in the threes.
Yeah, it's not a 4.
I don't think it dips into the 2s.
I
think 3 is
far from it.
3 is the floor.
I think it's I think it's high 3s.
Yeah,
I think it's
like a 3.75 or like a 3.
That's exactly where I was at. Was a 3.75 out of 5 stars.
You know what's funny is that Minions: The Rise of Gru is a better made film than Thor: Love and Thunder, and that's okay. It's
100% okay, and it's 100%
actually
accurate.
True. Probably. I haven't seen Minions, but like of what I've heard, it's probably true.
I think it is. I think they give the characters more time to be who they are in that movie, and I think it worked a little better. But
wow, it beat it. it beat Multiverse of Madness overall by 0.02.
Hey, the difference was that enjoyment rating, man.
And the genre, it crushed the genre. Yeah.
They had the exact same difference between film and genre. Both half a point difference.
Dang, look at that.
With the .05 edge to Thor Love and Thunder. So with that, it brought Thor Love and Thunder to a 4.45 out of 5 stars on the old Penny Bloom film scale, which doesn't make it
What's your
quite
lowest?
a 9 out of 10.
What's what?
What's your lowest score overall?
I think Spaceballs.
Spaceballs is, yes.
What is that rated?
You know, this Thor Love and Thunder, though, is above Minions Rise of Gru, which is above Pulp Fiction, which I do agree with.
I do agree with this as well.
Let's see, 4.45 on the
How
average.
the fuck do you think it's better than? Is it just because the enjoyment rating
Pulp
on
Fiction's
Pulp
not
Fiction?
that good of a movie. It's overhyped.
36th Chamber of Shaolin. Holy fuck, that's perfect.
What's the
That makes sense
36th
too.
Chamber of Shaolin?
You gotta watch it,
A
dude.
fantastic movie. You gotta.
Can I start
see
doing
it.
more of these with you guys?
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely.
It's
Wait, hold on. Go
not
to your
quite-
worst one. Go to your worst one.
Oh, I will. It's not quite The Departed, but it's a little bit better than A Clockwork Orange in Ace Ventura, which
I
is
definitely
exactly
put it
how
above
I
Ace
would
Ventura.
describe this movie on a random given day to anybody.
What's 5x5 Colton, Joe, and Tillman? What are those? Can you click on one of them?
We got a lot to go over. We got a lot to go over.
Trenton, this is a master document
Wait,
right here.
can
but-
I do? Wait, go to the 5x5. I want to do one.
Yeah, we'll give you a 5x5.
Let's do one.
We'll give you a 5x5.
Can I do one?
All right.
Yeah. Oh, we'll send you a whole thing after this, and you can fill out the whole goddamn thing if you want.
Oh, I thought we would do it live on air.
No, not right now. Those take forever.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
They take like 2.5 hours when we discuss them. But
Can we discuss it one time?
oh yeah, please come on for a 5x5. We'll do like
Really?
a Westworld edition or some shit.
No
Yeah.
way.
Ooh.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Guys, you're making me horny
sure.
right now. Please don't tempt me with a good
That's
time.
But,
Saturday, let's do it. Or Sunday.
Coming. But yeah, I think this came out about right. 4.45 out of 5 stars on the old Penny Bloom film rating scale. Now, potentially a more important part of this is placing it on the old Penny Bloom Marvel tier list.
Whoa, when are you having this released?
Oh no!
Yeah, we got a long not this one.
2024?
This episode is not coming out in 2024. This is you guys are about to get the first little tidbits of what we plan on doing starting next year. Once we complete our 52-year journey through film and catch all the way up, the Friday movie nights will not stop. They will continue, but we will do every comic book movie that had a theatrical release. Every Friday for as long as that takes us. Yes, it is anticipated to go into 2024 right now. So we've got big plans.
Spoil stuff?
We have not announced
You
that,
leaked.
but fuck it.
You leaked.
Can you erase
Indeed.
this?
It's okay.
Yeah, I can edit it, but it's really not a big deal. It's not like someone's going to be like, "Oh fuck, somebody tell the Hollywood Reporter the Penny Bloom podcast is doing this shit." Nah, it's all good. It's all good. We don't matter that much. I mean, if y'all want to take it there, but I don't think they'll care. So let's put this on the Marvel tier list. We got an A to F scale, but we've altered the names. Top tier is yo, what the fuck? Second tier is fuck yes. 3 is hell yeah. 4th is that's cool. 5th is okay, yeah. And the bottom tier is meh. And
Origins Wolverine is fucking top tier if it's the movie I'm thinking about.
It's not.
It can't be.
It
can't be the movie you're thinking about.
And if it is,
There's literally no goddamn way.
Is this
If
the
it
one where
is-
he goes to Japan and shit?
That's Wolverine,
Oh, where's that rank?
which is in the okay yeah tier above it.
Nah, that movie was gas.
We actually just recently moved that, I think, down from that's cool to okay yeah.
maybe undeservedly.
It needs a rewatch before I can comfortably
Fair.
say so.
I
I do
know
think
that's
it belongs in that's cool, but I'm not. I think all these
Is
okay
Dark
yeahs.
Phoenix the one with
we could
Scarlet
convince me.
Witch?
No,
No, that's with the Dark Phoenix.
that's with Sansa
Which one's
Stark.
on? Which
in
one's
Game
with
of Thrones,
Scarlet
that
Witch?
girl.
Is that just
WandaVision
X-Men?
or Avengers: Age of Ultron.
No,
is where
she's in the
introduced.
X-Men movie.
She's
Yeah,
not.
she
No,
is.
her brother
Jean
is
Grey. You're thinking of Jean Grey.
Yeah, that's Wanda.
Nope.
No,
Yes, it is.
Jean Grey is
Wanda
not Wanda.
Maximoff is
And Jean
a
Grey are
different
separate women.
But they're
person.
same abilities.
No,
Similar,
kind of.
similar
One's
in
the Scarlet
essence.
Witch, and one is not the Scarlet Witch. She's the Phoenix. They're different powers.
But regardless, let's throw it on here somewhere.
All right, I think we could start from the bottom and work our way up. I think
it's
or we could sandwich. Okay, you're wrong.
It is not
It is not
Certainly
Matt.
not
I think
Matt.
it's pretty easy. It's not a Morbius type movie, and I'm pretty comfortable going up past okay, yeah, as well.
I too am comfortable with this.
So I think we take a pause at that's cool and go all the way to the tippy top, and then work our way down and see where we go. It's not on the same level as Infinity War or Logan or Into the
It is
Spider-Verse.
certainly not at the top tier. Yo, what the fuck? Avengers: Infinity War, Logan, and Into the Spider-Verse are just 3 of the Marvel movies that are certainly better than this one.
And I'm pretty comfortable skipping past fuck yes as well. It's not on a No Way Home, Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Black Panther. No, I'm sorry.
Daredevil.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2002.
Sheesh.
Winter Soldier. I don't know, man.
WandaVision.
Not there. Miss Marvel. What if?
Moving on to Hell Yeah.
We're sitting more pretty here for Hell Yeah for me. The question here now, Thor Ragnarok falls within the Hell Yeah tier. Is this your favorite Thor movie? No.
It's either this or Ragnarok.
Would you put them on roughly the same level?
think, yeah. I don't think I could put one above the other.
Then methinks we're going with Hell Yeah.
I think
As Thor Ragnarok falls on this tier. It fits
bing,
in this
bada
tier
boom.
next to Loki, Avengers Endgame, Eternals, Age of Ultron, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Black Widow, Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Shang-Chi, Moon Knight, and Hawkeye, now joined by Thor, Love, and Thunder.
Yeah,
And,
I think that's fair. I was almost like in here, but then I was like, nah.
Nah, it's I like it more than both the first 2 Thor movies.
Yeah.
Depending on the day you ask me, my taste goes back and forth between those quite a bit. I've always loved the Thor movies, though.
I really feel that we could break Hell Yeah into 2 different groups. There's just some movies that are kind of on a different level than some stuff that's in here.
All right, well then that to me means we should dissolve it all together, send some of them up and some of them down.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Whoa. Purge this whole thing and just, it's either a fuck yes or a that's cool.
I think at that point, the fuck yes tier would cease to exist and it would all become Hell Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's in between though, because I feel like an Endgame and a Captain Marvel and I mean, yeah, these are on a different level than Loki, Hawkeye, Shang-Chi. I don't know. They're
I feel you.
close.
I feel you.
But it's like
All right, then here's the thing. We've already got, I think, 6 tiers. I think one of them has to go. Like, I think we would have to dissolve That's Cool into Okay Yeah. Like, I don't think we'd be able to differentiate.
That's fair.
Some of these tiers have to go together. And maybe that's okay, yeah, dissolves into meh, but something's got to go in order for us to add another category. We can't have 7 tiers.
That's fair. I think we just keep it then. I think I'm overthinking. I think I'm going too crazy here. I think we got a good system. Or we add an honorary extra tier for just Morbius.
Maybe so. But here's the thing: go back up to Hell Yeah for me. I was 100% with you looking at this. There are movies in this that I do feel are on a different tier, but I don't think they're fuck yes. An example: Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Eternals, Deadpool, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Spider-Man Homecoming. I think all of those go up, but they're not fuck yes.
So what does that mean for the rest, the ones that are not highlighted right now?
I think we ought to just reorganize the tier itself. Rearrange them to...
Just like the top of Hell
ranking.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sort of thing? Okay. Well, italics the top ones. So let's see. Loki and Deadpool 2. Loki and Deadpool 2.
But nevertheless, Thor Love and Thunder joining the likes of the Hell Yeah tier along with its sister film Thor Ragnarok. Also there was Spider-Man Homecoming, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Iron Man, Multiverse of Madness, Moon Knight, Hawkeye, all this fun shit. But yeah, with that, methinks we conclude this episode of the Penny Bloom podcast. If you would, head to patreon.com/CoroBloom, where you'll find over 30 hours of exclusive content, including today, where my weekly reads is going up. I've got my comic book pull list with a ton of books this week. Bunch of comics that I picked up at the comic shop this week. Like at least, I think, 6 DC, somewhere around 4 or 5 Marvel, couple Dark Horse. Just a lot of new reads. I also review Berserker, graphic novel by Keanu Reeves, Volume 1. And then the book review, Star Wars The Rising Storm, to continue my coverage of the High Republic era of Star Wars. All that's available at patreon.com/CoroBloom, where I am continuously updating weekly with the stuff that I am reading. And I know you're comic book fans. I just might go ahead and throw in a little sample for you here at the end. We'll see about it. But yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing. Head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It is always a pleasure.
Oh, and it is always a pleasure to have you. Happy to have talked to you about Thor Love and Thunder. We were also joined by Trenton Moore. Thank you very much, homie.
Yes, sir. Sorry for not talking much, guys. I don't really have much to talk about.
You talked the perfect amount. You talked exactly the amount that I needed you to. Any amount that you would have talked would have been the perfect amount. Just believe that. But yeah, if you're fucking with me and Joe and you want to hear some more of us every Friday, we're doing the 52-year journey through film right now. It is Thursday as of today, but tomorrow it will be we'll be covering a movie from 1999, and that brings us to The Matrix. So that is fucking, it's just fun. Just nothing but fun here on the Penny Bloom podcast. We will also be making an appearance, me and Joe, on a different podcast in the coming weeks. Someone else's podcast. We'll be joining the team at MCU on Repeat to discuss 2012's The Avengers, which is very fun. Very excited for that. Go check out MCU on Repeat. They're some awesome dudes, and they've been big supporters of the show for a while now, so we intend to support them the same way, and I really hope that we will be able to have them on at some point as well to discuss some MCU shit, or maybe something else. We've got a giant comic book project coming up next year, as Trenton leaked. But yeah, with that, remember, peace, love, and Bloom. Fucking Thor Love and Thunder, baby.